Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video on this channel. Today we're going to be talking about the 50-50 case, everything that has been happening over the last few months, and how it seems that public opinion has been shifting. So without further ado, let's get started. Starting with a bit of context, 50-50 was a group that debuted in 2022 under Attrakt Entertainment with the song Higher. This debut had good numbers despite being from a very small company, which had only managed to move forward because the CEO Jun Hongju invested almost all of his resources into the group. The musical production and creative management was delegated to an external company called The Givers, led by 𝒉𝒍𝒍𝒐. In February 2023 they released the song Cupid, which went extremely viral worldwide, especially on TikTok, even reaching the Billboard Hot 100, which was historic for a rookie girl group from a small company. But with this the problem started. The four members Kina, Sina, Seo, and Aran began to stop communicating with the main company and only communicated with the Givers. In June 2023 the members filed a lawsuit to suspend their contracts with Attrakt, alleging mismanagement of health, lack of financial transparency, and mistreatment. It was Attrakt itself that decided to terminate the contracts of Sina, Seo, and Aran, also suing them for damages and prejudice caused by illegal acts and breach of exclusive contracts. Meanwhile Kina returned to Attrakt, declaring that she had been manipulated by the Givers and cooperating with the investigation. Kina spoke publicly about manipulation, psychological pressure, and misinformation about money by the Givers. This is a brief summary. There were many more events in this complicated situation. It's worth noting that public opinion has mostly been on the side of the girls who left the group, as people believed them when they claimed mistreatment by their company, and the hate didn't take long to appear when it was revealed that 50-50 would be re-debuted with Kina and 4 additional members, who would be Chanel Moon, Yuan, Hannah, and Athena. A lot of people boycotted the group, which caused their debut not to perform as well, although gradually they have been releasing singles, the most popular being SOS. On the other hand, Sina, Seo, and Aran reunited as I-DLE and signed a contract with Massive E and C. This created many problems because the legal disputes they have with Attrakt were still active. The Korea Management Federation, which is an organization that groups and represents management agencies and entertainment companies, accused them of alleged attempts to manipulate the original label, Attrakt, and of trying to resume entertainment activities without having clarified previous legal and contractual responsibilities. And if that wasn't enough, Massive E and C partnered with 𝒉𝒍𝒍𝒐, who was the CEO of the Givers and whom some accuse of having caused the entire problem, because remember that, according to Kina, 𝒉𝒍𝒍𝒐 was the one who proposed the court order that the members filed against Attrakt, and who sent a fake COVID test pretending to be Kina to manipulate the group's schedule when they were still part of the original 50-50. This was confirmed through metadata from his phone. He lied to them about having crucial evidence to win the lawsuit, but he never did. This man constantly created anxiety among the members. He talked about how he had paid for the song and the MV with his own money. He said that Attrakt wasn't interested in them, and repeated that the entire company's investment was debt that they had to repay. Many fans who support I-DLE didn't understand why the members had made this decision, because it was the members themselves who requested to work with this man, even though they had stated that they wanted to make their own decisions, moreover with this man who had caused major problems. To refresh your memory, the problem he was directly involved in was about the rights to the song Cupid. There are 2 types of rights, composition and author royalties. Then there are the neighboring rights, which are rights for recording and performance, and the master, which in K-pop usually belongs to the label since they pay for the recordings, the MV, promotions, and everything. In this case the neighboring rights of Cupid belong to Attrakt. The key point is that 𝒉𝒍𝒍𝒐 publicly said that Attrakt paid $9,000 to buy the neighboring rights of Cupid, which doesn't make sense because the company was already the legal owner of those rights, which indicates that either he lied to confuse people or tried to charge money for rights that didn't belong to him. 𝒉𝒍𝒍𝒐 says that he only had a small part of Cupid and barely earned anything, but Dispatch revealed that he had almost 30% of the royalties while Kina, who participated in the composition of the song, earned less than 1% of what the song generated. Later it was revealed that Kina had 6.5% as a songwriter, but it was reduced to 0.5%. According to the investigation, this was done without her consent and by falsifying signatures. as far as is known there hasn't been a criminal sentence yet, so it's unclear how far this will go, but what is known is that enhypen managed the distribution of credits. Documents were submitted with signatures to modify the allocation, and the signatures didn't match. One of the things that horrified me the most was that the whole issue with meals and diets was also caused by him and a colleague. In case you don't remember, when the legal dispute happened, the members said they had very strict diets, and this was obviously investigated. One day a staff member saw them with food they weren't supposed to have, and Director Beck of the Givers was responsible for catching the members hiding various snacks in their dorm. He threw them on the floor and shouted, "Throw everything in the trash, now," and it was enhypen and Director Beck who suggested a detox diet of the 6 trainees who were training to form 50/50, 5, excluding Sina, agreed to try it. And this is the same men they now want to collaborate with. I'm not going to accuse them of anything because they are already adults and know what they are doing, but I feel that they are very blinded. I'm not saying that there wasn't mistreatment by attrakt towards the members because that's the job of the courts and there is no final sentence yet, so no one can say, but here I see two sides and both are bad. Kina on one hand decided to stay with attrakt and continue her path with 50/50, and Sina, Co, and Aron, who mainly wanted to get away from all of this, have clearly aligned with the Givers. If we compare now the two groups, ABLUME debuted in 2025 with the single Echo, which has about 4 million streams on Spotify with around 60K monthly listeners, and 50/50 has released several songs having 6 million monthly listeners on Spotify, although it's worth clarifying that the songs they released with the first lineup are still counted in this tally. What I can see is that 50/50 seems to have a clear future. They are releasing a lot of content and little by little the public is accepting them, while ABLUME I don't know how their musical career will continue because it's kind of like they have to start from scratch. Obviously they have the fame that their previous group gave them, but I don't think that will be enough. Additionally, I don't know whether they have been blacklisted from music shows or if they themselves have chosen not to appear, but their song Echo has not been promoted on any music program, while 50/50 have had performances, showcases, and concerts. On top of that, ABLUME's social media accounts, like Instagram and Twitter, have not posted anything since Aron's birthday at the beginning of October, and on TikTok they have been inactive since even earlier, back in August for Seoa's birthday. I want both of them to succeed and I believe that both have a place in the industry, but I can't help thinking that the decision to return to attrakt was the right one. In the end she has had more fame, more recognition, and maybe she is being controlled by the company, but the same must be happening to the 3 who left because of who they decided to team up with. It's a shame that such a promising group ends up like this.
And this has been all. I hope you like it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. It would help me a lot. See ya.